Hi everyone, and welcome to How's It Rate. My name is Chico and I'll be your host today. Today we are looking at a Banquet apple pie, freshly baked taste. Made with real apples, microwavable, must be cooked thoroughly. See back for directions. 7-ounce pie. Looks really scrumptious on the box. Let's hope it tastes just as good. So let's see what we've got to do here. Well, actually, let's take a look at the ingredients. Okay, ingredients: filling, water, apples, sugar, brown sugar, modified cornstarch. There we go with that modified cornstarch. Artificial flavors. But we started off really well with the water, apples, and sugar, brown sugar. So this thing ought to be pretty good. There's not too many crazy other things. There's spices, lemon juice, lemon oil, caramel color, blah blah blah. But it looks really good. And for nutritional facts, this is one serving. Let's see, 360 calories, and only 90 of them are from fat. That's good news. Probably in the crust. So let's see what we've got here. Total fat is 10 grams at 15%. Saturated fat 3.5 grams, 18%. Trans fats 0. Cholesterol 5 milligrams, 2%. Sodium 490 milligrams. They like to use their sodium in these things. That's 20% of your daily allowance. And potassium at 100 milligrams, 3%. Total carbohydrates 64 grams. This is a big one on the carbohydrates between sugar and the crust and everything else. So, not for Atkins diet. 21%. That's 64 grams, 21% of your total daily allowable intake. Dietary fiber 2 grams, sugars 25 grams, which I expected, and protein 3 grams. This can be cooked either in a microwave or in a conventional oven. So to cook this pie, we're going to place the pie on a microwave safe plate, and we're going to slit the crust, which is kind of common for these pies. And again, they want a 1,100 watt oven or more, and it's going to go in for 3.5 to 4 minutes. Check that the fruit pie is cooked thoroughly. Internal temperatures have to be 165 degrees Fahrenheit, as checked with a thermometer. Crust is golden brown and steam rises from the filling. I guess that's another warning. And right below it, step 4, caution. This isn't red. Filling will be extremely hot. Remove carefully and enjoy after cooking. So you got to avoid, swelling up your tongue there with some hot syrup from that pie. Preheat a conventional oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the pie on a cookie sheet. Slit the top crust. Bake in the oven for 30 to 33 minutes. Carefully remove as product will be hot. We know that. Check that the fruit pie is cooked thoroughly, again using the thermometer. So this looks pretty easy to do. I'm kind of anxious to try it. I'm in the mood for an apple pie today. I don't normally eat sweets, but every once in a while I get that sweet tooth, and then I'm into it for a couple of days. So bear with me. I'll be right back. We're going to throw this thing in a radar range and see what happens. Hi guys, we're back from the microwave oven, and our apple pie is cooked. And I just remembered that I neglected to show it to you before I put it in the microwave oven after I took it out of the box. But here it is cooked. Okay, it's extremely hot, so we're just going to give it a second to cool down a little bit. I remember when the microwave ovens first came out, everybody began making foods for microwave ovens, and they just slopped them in a plastic tray or a paper tray or cardboard or whatever, and that was the end of it. And as time went on and microwaves got better, companies started to make these neat little containers with a special coating on them that when it's in the microwave, it actually gets very hot and contributes to the cooking of the product. So many advances over the years, quite interesting. And in the beginning, there was just the traditional type things. And as time went on, there were more and more different types of food that were made available for microwaving. And the packages that they were cooked in, some of them like this pie, most of the pot pies, some of the dinners, and Hot Pockets is a perfect example where they actually have a little sleeve that you put it in, and that contributes to the cooking. and also makes a handy little holder for it when you're eating it. So just thought I'd throw that in there. But it has evolved quite a bit since the beginnings of microwaving. Okay, I think we're ready to give this a shot. Now, when I went to culinary school, one of my favorite things in the whole world was the baking classes. And I loved baking breads and things of that nature, and cakes, and making different desserts. And pies are one of the easiest yet most difficult things to make, and there's such a great variety, from apple pies, blueberry pies, you name it. There's just about a cherry pie, everything. But what makes a really good pie is obviously the fresh ingredients of the fruit. That has to taste great. But the crust is a very important part of a pie. And, you know, a nice flaky crust. Really, the concept is easy, but to make it is not so easy. You have to use ice cold water, in some cases ice cubes. You have to be careful how you cut the fat into the flour. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to use a high gluten flour. You don't want to develop the gluten in the dough when you're making it. So making a good pie crust is a science and an art. So let's see how they did on this thing. I mean, you have to remember this is commercially prepared, frozen food, and we're going to compare it to a homemade pie, which probably isn't very fair. So, but let's give it a look. The crust obviously doesn't look like a well-made pie crust from a baker, or well-made at home, but it doesn't fare too badly as compared to some of the pies that you buy that they say are fresh made, and the crusts are very lacking also. Now, this pie crust doesn't look flaky, but we'll see how it tastes. That was very hot. Lava. Okay, first bite. The crust is not bad. It's not a nice flaky crust, but it definitely isn't a soggy, terrible thing either. It's actually quite tasty and feels good on the palate. The apples are quite good. They're very cinnamony and sweet. And as far as apple pie flavor goes, it's very good. And it's also very hot, as I mentioned. So this puppy was 80 cents at my favorite store to shop in Walmart, and I'll explain why someday. I mean, I'm not a big fan of big corporations, but I got to tell you, Wally World's got everything I want, and it's usually priced well. So we'll get into it another day. But let's get back to this pie. For 80 cents for a single serving, only took me a few minutes to put in the microwave, and here I am sitting and enjoying it with you guys only moments later. I am going to give this pie a 4 3/4. Why a 4 3/4? Because that flaky crust just isn't there, but it's pretty good. So, you heard it here, 4 3/4 on a Banquet apple pie. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.